This is a Human Collective podcast. This is episode 7.
We succeeded in extending the human sight far beyond the horizon. It's not even human.
Hello humans, this is the Human Collective podcast with me, Ross Taylor. For 30 minutes each week, I'll be chatting to my friends in arguably the weirdest industry on planet Earth, TV and film. This week, I was joined by TV researcher, media blogger and RTS committee member Stacey Burns. Stacey has just finished her film degree at Salford University, where she produced a short film that'll be doing the festival rounds very soon. And she returned back home to Belfast, believe it or not, to a development contract at local NI indie Nice One Productions, and also to do some part-time work with BBC Academy. Pretty cool. And Stacey got her first job in TV actually before she went to university, because she was chosen for a summer internship with local NI production company and Sony International Indie Stacey Media. She then won a student RTS award whilst at Belfast Met with a comedy short Creme Brulee or Chocolate Souffle. Now that we all feel suitably worthless about ourselves and our achievements, grab a coffee and enjoy this epic chat with a genuinely lovely TV person and a perfect example of hard work paying off. Enjoy! So, if there's anybody here who is more likely and more able to clarify what time of the day it is and what year it is, and what day of the week it is, it's this girl right here, Stacey Burns. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks. What about you?
I'm okay. Yeah. I mean, it feels now at this point that I'm sort of losing track of all sort of. I mean, every day is like the same. You know, it's like it's good. Every day is a good day, but it's like there's a lot of repetition.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of repetition going on these days. You know.
Yeah. I know. Literally every conversation I've had, it's been like, oh well, any crack, and everyone's gone, no. Like.
I hate it when people ask me that. I'm like, don't you know what's going on here? Like, this is the answer of the last time as well, you know?
Yeah, absolutely not. Nothing.
So catch me up here. So last time, before this whole thing, all the shit hit the fan, you're in your last year of Salford, right?
Yeah, I've just finished up my final year at Uni of Salford. I was only there for the 1 year, topping up a qualification I got at Belfast Met to the full degree. So that's all done, just waiting on my results, fingers crossed.
Happy days.
But yeah, I basically sort of took a year out from being in TV to go and get the degree, which felt like a massive mistake. It was like, going to uni is going to be the worst thing I ever did. Because, you know, like I was working, we were both at Stacey, I was doing shit, and then I took that whole year out. I was like, no one's gonna remember me, I've ruined it. But so I've come back now and I've done a part-time development gig with Nice One, and I'm now currently part-time with BBC Academy helping set up DigiCities, which is now going to be online on Zoom. So that's really interesting, and I am now a full committee member of the RTS Northern Ireland Committee. I have the imposter syndrome is like, like I'm sitting there 22, like, am I lost? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, give this girl an acting career, because she is faking it until she makes it.
Yeah. I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on. It's like, who let me in here? I don't know. I'm not going to question it.
Yeah, but I guess, you know, it's one of those things where you just say yes to everything, and so long as the offers are coming, you just say yes to everything, then suddenly, you know, you become really busy, even at a time where, you know, there's nothing really going on, you know?
I know. Yeah, I'm still working. I got a part-time job in a supermarket, so I'm still doing that. And it's just like, everything's just been so crazy.
But you know what though? It's like, it's that kind of time now where it's like, you might as well just embrace the chaos, and it's just like the most bizarre time ever. But, you know, stack those shelves, like produce those films. Like, it's just so weird, but like we might as well just completely lean into this thing and just embrace the chaos, you know?
I know the working from home has been crazy. It's like I'm back in my mum and dad's house, so if someone walks in, I have signs on the door, but nobody wants to talk to me all day. And then as soon as I'm on a Zoom call, it's like Stacey, and you're just like, meet my boss.
So,
Thanks.
so you finished? Have you finished up then? Am I right in saying then that's you
Yeah,
finished?
all done, absolutely done and dusted.
And your film, no refunds. I was trying to get a. This is the film that you're producing for your final
Yes.
year, and I was trying to find a way in which I could see that. Are you guys going to be releasing it anytime soon, or what's the crack with that?
Not anytime soon. We're not even on the festival circuit yet, so we're still
Mm.
waiting to hear back from the festivals. My second year film that won the Comedy and Entertainment RTS Student Award last year with Belfast Met. It is sorry, it is probably going to be out in August because that's off the top of my head whenever we finish our festival circuit with that we won. So yeah, it's class. I'm really excited for everyone to finally see it.
Happy days,
But
man.
yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. Whenever you're doing festival circuits, it's like, this is my movie I made last year.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's
Forget all
mad.
about it.
Oh no, man. Well, you seem to have a lot of mystery about you, Stacey. You know, you've got all these secret projects that none of us can see, so that keeps us all, waiting until the next thing, at least.
Oh yeah, there'll be a blog about it. You can guarantee that much. Everything that goes on, I exploit for content.
Yeah, I mean, I just actually realized that like we've worked with each other in like all these different capacities, but we've never had time to have a half an hour conversation with each other.
I know, it's so weird, isn't it?
That's it. You're
Like,
just like you're sort of throwing your head where people wouldn't stick their knee, and you're just sort of you're just completely
yeah,
busy and in the trenches. Like you just don't have time to talk.
I know, it's so weird. But
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So right. I read your blog. The one about the ethical sex scenes. For a film
Oh
that you're doing
yeah.
at uni. Was this for no refunds? This sex
Yes,
scene.
that was no refunds, yeah.
It's super interesting because I actually mentioned this with Nathan, a buddy of mine who's a TV spark in one of our last podcasts, and he had made a reference to sex scenes and things like that. So I thought, you know
hmm
what, it's kind of a perfect transition that we actually do talk about this because
Yeah, of
I
course.
think there's a lot of people out there, me included. It's like you kind of the aura of mystery around the sex scene is kind of it's an odd
I
thing
know.
because you're kind of like I suppose whenever you watch kind of the best films, the the normal people's and the high
hmm
budget movies and stuff, you kind of have to go like, that's really, it seems so seamless. It seems like there's you know uh it's impulsive, it's sexy, it's all these things. But I guess the truth
Yeah.
of it is, from reading your blog, is that it's actually
It's so
hilariously
not.
unsexy.
Yeah, it's so not. If anything, it was so weird. It really, the thought of being the producer in charge of that really intimidated me. I was talking to the writer director and I was like, can we cut that out? And he went, no, it's important because it basically is sort of, I'm trying not to have spoilers for the film, but it sort of is a reveal of No Refunds as a film is about a guy who is a hitman, but he gets hired by the terminally ill to kill them the way that they want to go. And his motivation is sort of his wife is terminally ill and she asks him to kill her and he doesn't do it. So he's sort of driven by the regret that he couldn't give his wife the death that she wanted. So that is sort of how you find out that she is sick. We wanted to be really nightmarish. It was meant to be this beautiful romantic scene. They've just got married and then she just coughs up blood on him. You're like,
Wow.
ah.
That's
So
really
yeah.
interesting, man. That's a great sort of concept. And I guess I have to put you on the spot. Did you think about that your sort of specified way to go in the producing of this, or
What do you mean? Like what
what?
my plan of action or
Yeah, like when you want someone
yeah.
to murder you, like what is the best
Oh
way to go?
God.
I imagine, as being a passionate filmmaker, you probably thought, you know what, I might as well die on my shield producing like the greatest film ever made.
Yeah. And then that could be like used to market it. It could be, like one of those haunted, cursed movies. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Like,
good.
what's
Yeah,
that one? The Crow or something? That's every
yeah,
time they try to make it, people die. That would be
yeah,
quite a good
yeah.
one. Yeah. I'd
Absolutely.
like
Watch
to go making a
The
horror.
Burns on Netflix. She actually,
yeah.
Stacey Burns, she actually was burnt alive on a set, and her second name's
Yeah.
Burns.
Yeah. Every time they tried to make that movie, it's
Eh,
cursed.
People just went up in flames.
Yeah. They just, yeah. I know. But yeah, so basically as a producer it was I was scared shitless. I was just like, what if I want to do it right? I don't want to freak some poor actress out. I don't want it to be horrible. And they're just, yeah, there's I don't want to just go through the whole blog with everything, but we had a meeting with our supervising lecturer because I was like, this is a student film. I was like, what actor is going to be willing to do this for our, you know, our shitty student film? It was like, oh God, like it's not even a big budget classy, you know what I mean? But we just had a lot of meetings about it, and we had a lot of meetings with the actors about it. We were totally clear from the audition process. But yeah, overall, like you just have to, as a decent fucking human being, it's like your actor's safety and well-being, and that they feel safe and not exploited or taken advantage of or freaked out is more important than the shot you want to get. You know what I mean? It's just sort of remembering your priorities.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't help but think, because you kind of think about, like, I was sort of thinking about sort of, I mean, I was kind of getting a perception of how these things would go. And then I kind of heard things about, like, you know, Shia LaBeouf saying things like, oh, like, obviously being a method actor. It's like, there's that whole sort of question in there. Like, what's, I guess people go like, are they really doing it? Or are they not doing it? You know, I guess the truth of the matter is anyone who's doing it properly is doing it without that. And it's like a dance scene in a way. You know?
Yeah, sort of. It's a bit more awkward, but everything sort of, something that was flagged to me that I never would have even thought of is everything has to be pre-choreographed and agreed on, because we don't know, one of the actors might have a repressed memory of past sexual assault, so everything has to be, even something as innocent as like pushing their hair behind their ear, that might have been how they're, you know, someone who abused them might have touched them when they were a kid, and that could really trigger some traumatic memories and a whole breakdown, which would be absolutely awful. So that's why everything just, you have to be so, okay, so this is the choreography, is that okay? And you can, actors are totally free to make suggestions if something feels more natural or more comfortable, but everyone has to agree on it. And if someone improvises and that freaks their scene partner out, it's not on, it's not cool.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
it's
really
just so
interesting,
health and safety
yeah
oriented.
And I guess, like, I want to backtrack a wee bit, because I was particularly interested in, you know, you mentioned about how you thought it might have been a big mistake going to university and things like that. I constantly am a little bit envious of people who've actually been to university, and especially somewhere like Salford, where, you know, you get this kind of once in a lifetime access to, you know, the best equipment and you know, really great tutoring and things like that. I know Moira Keane is, you know, down in Salford as well, someone who I know really well from the AIM High scheme. But kind of tell me about, because obviously, yeah, you're different than most, because you obviously had your break into TV. Say break, you know, it's still a lot of hard work, like, but you're in TV.
Yeah, of course, I know what you mean.
You make it into TV, and then you think, okay, maybe I'm going to go and get this top up year. You know, obviously you were really fearful of making that move. Just talk me through the reasons why, and then now how you're feeling afterwards.
Yeah, honestly, so I got the Stellify summer internship the summer first and second year. I did the first 2 years of uni essentially at Belfast Met, which was a class course. I got an HND at the end of it, which is basically a qualification for the first 2 years of uni. Started working for Stellify. They kept me on 2 days a week while I was still studying. And then after that, I was full-time casting for Nice One, Filthy Rich. Or not Filthy Rich, Fight Dirty. That was the working title, was Filthy Rich. I was on Fight Dirty casting for that. So I was working, and literally I went to uni because a lot of people who I know who are older and higher up now were like, I had to go back to uni when I was 28, because apparently the deal is, if you want those high paying exec jobs, I don't know, this was their experience. They were just like, I had to go back to uni when I was 30 and I was engaged. They were just like, do it now, just get it done. So even though I just, you know, I had my foot in the door, I just wanted to keep working. I had an HND. I just was like, right, well, these people have never steered me wrong yet. So I went off, and yeah, just was really sort of scary coming back. It was like, I am graduating in lockdown and I haven't worked in a year. Class. Like, good one. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, life ruined. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one actually did forget about me, thank God. So sort of now the jobs have sort of started to appear. I've been sort of working the last month or so. And I have this BBC Academy gig I'm on until at least November. It could be March, but at the moment it's still at least November. So yeah,
happy days, man. And is the Academy gig like a paid gig? Is it like a
yeah.
Happy days. I mean, what kind of hours have they got you in for in that?
It basically is. It's part-time work from home. I'm 2 days a week. essentially, but because you're working from home, you can just manage your time better because you're not traveling to and from meetings. And
Mm.
yeah, they ask me to, at the moment I'm doing a lot of Zoom training and things because they want me to be hosting the webinars and stuff. So that's going to be really interesting because DigiCities has never been like that. I'm sure you've been. It's normally in conjunction with the Belfast Media Fest. So it's always real life events. So now that it's all going to be online, basically anyone can tune in to, because any event, because we normally would have Edinburgh DigiCities and Manchester DigiCities and Belfast. Now it's kind of like, well, everyone can tune in from everywhere. So what's the crack? How do we market this? So it's going to be really interesting.
Epic,
Exciting.
man. That's like you'd be doing it's like almost like a TED Talks from your bedroom.
Essentially, yeah. But I'm hosting the event, but I'm not gonna be on it. I'll just be sitting like hiding and live tweeting the whole time, which always looks terrible when you're at an event. You just look like you're on your phone. I always make a point to be like, I'm tweeting. I'm trying to get the hashtag trending. I'm not bored.
Yeah. I know. You might have that sort of god awful kind of sweaty palm moment where you have like Jed Mercurio like on the end of your Zoom call, like just like awaiting for you to accept him and let him in, and you're like, oh god, like he's right there.
I know.
But yeah, so okay, so before I move on to one of my favorite segments, I just wanted to sort of wrap that up by sort of saying, like, after you finish this degree, now are you still going to stay in factual, or do you want to go in between both factual and scripted? Kind of, what are you thinking?
I honestly have no real experience in scripted. I would love to try out scripted. As much as I love factual entertainment, I would say that's where all my experience is in. But I would love to try out scripted because I might love it too. But yeah, I'm absolutely interested in trying both.
Us. Now, Stacey, during this lockdown period, I've already told you, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what year it is. I'm pretty sure I don't know what year it is, right? And I've watched basically every TV show that has been hiding inside my Netflix thing, I think. And I've watched everything on Hayu, Amazon Video, everything basically. So I need you to help me with a few of your 3 lockdown classics. And title card's going to be going up right now. And starting from number 3, give me your Stacey's lockdown classics.
Stacey's lockdown classics. Number 3 is really obvious one. Lockdown must. Tiger King. Like the classic. Tiger King period of lockdown feels like it was about 5 years ago, but I was obsessed. It was absolutely brilliant. I think it's 6 episodes of just pure insanity. You expect things to get cleared up and you get more answers, but it just gets crazier every time. So it's so iconic. Everyone's going to be dressed up as Carol Baskin and Joe Exotic for Halloween. I can see it. So absolutely Tiger King. If you've not watched it yet, what have you been doing? Number 2 has been season 2 of Glow Up on BBC 3. Absolutely love it. I'm girly girl, love makeup, love all that. Glow Up is class, high, big budget, factual, love that for me. But yeah, Glow Up. And then number 1 is honestly my all-time favorite TV show of all time, arguably the most successful reality TV show of our time. It is Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Boom.
Which, yeah, I know that you are not supposed to say that you love that, but that was when I was applying for my Stellify internship. It was like, what is your favorite TV show of all time? And I was like, this is either going to get me noticed or it's going to get me thrown in the bin. But I was like, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, 500 words on why it's class. If I did a dissertation, I could have done it on the nuances and genius behind Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Love it.
Absolutely, totally agree. I will openly come out on this podcast and say that I am also keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yes.
So, and the more people should, but maybe there's more of us, but we're just a bit quiet,
Closeted. Yeah.
And the second one, Glow Up. I mean, I was talking about this the other day. Like, Glow Up is one of those things where it touches on things that like that Come Dine With Me have a little bit. It's like we have this natural sort of competitive nature in us for certain things, and that obviously like girls and people and lots of different communities are so huge on makeup, and people become so great at it after a while. It's literally like an art, and extracting the competitive nature to that is so interesting. And if you really are it's essentially art, art in a reality show, and
Yeah.
I highly recommend people watch that. I could probably do with binging a wee bit more of it myself, but I've heard lots of good things anyway. And Tiger King, absolute classic,
Of course.
instant
Yeah.
classic. # free Joe Exotic.
I know.
So anyway, every single podcast I claim, and I claim that very, very clearly that this is the weirdest industry on the planet Earth. Okay. And every
Yes.
week I try to bring my friends on to prove this fact. And
Mhm.
once again, Stacey, I'm going to have to ask you, what is your weird TV tales? And just so Fergus has a nice transition, this is Stacey's weird TV tales. Right, Stacey, give me your weird TV tale. Go.
Okay, so my weird TV tale is I was casting and I was basically looking for groups of people, young people with dirty houses. So who wanted to be, just people with dirty houses. I was on this with Gavcam, who you had on before.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just messaging people, DMing people on Instagram, just who might want to be on TV in the off chance I had a dirty house. And this girl sort of gets back to us. It was like 10:30 in the morning on a Thursday or something, and she was like, oh yeah, like my place is stinking, blah, blah, blah. And all my housemates, and it's so crazy. We're just like, okay class, can we meet you, can we organize a time to come down? And she's like, yeah, come on down, like we're still at the after, like they were still at the after party at 10:30 in the morning. They just not stopped partying. So we were just like, right, okay. So me and the casting team, we all went down, went to her house. The place was disgusting. There were flies. There were flies everywhere. And it was actually just so disgusting. And we met this whole crew of people who were all still drunk, and I don't know what else they were on. But you were just like, oh, hey guys, so how long have you lived together? And da da da. And they're telling us all these stories. One of them's going, oh yeah, so I live here and this is my room. And they brought us into this room where this guard was like literally asleep on the bed. And he was just like, oh yeah, this is my friend, she's staying over. And this guard was like, we were going, sorry. So we stepped out and he was just like, yeah, that's my friend, she's just staying over. And they were telling us stories like, oh yeah, we actually got in loads of trouble because we burnt down our last house. And I am 23 and he just keeps going into third or first year of different courses. And I was just like, right, oh my god, these guys are crazy. The place is absolutely disgusting. We all left the office and we went back to the office and we couldn't stop washing our hands. It was that disgusting that we felt it on us like a film.
Yeah.
And we were just like, that was absolutely amazing. We got like, a wee taster tape of them talking about themselves and meeting them all. Great characters. We're just like, yes, we found the perfect house, these guys are going to be on it. And we tried to contact them later to be like, oh yeah, can our producer come down and meet you? None of them fucking lived in the house. Not a single one. They were all
Seriously?
just like, oh no, they were all just partying there and they decided to take the piss.
Oh my god.
They brought us all down. We were just like, who let you in? Like, why were you there? And they were like, the girl that was like asleep. Like, yeah, that was our friend, and we were all just at her after. And
so they actually admitted that they lied as well.
They lied, yeah. None of them lived there. They were just like, yeah, we're just at the after and we thought it'd be really funny. And we were like, we were struggling so hard to find people. We were just like, please, why? And it was like, could we see your real house? Is your real house messy? And I think at that point they were just too embarrassed to see us again, because they had just really screwed us over. And it was like, why would you do us like that? But yeah, none of them lived there.
That's
so
insane,
no one wanted
man.
to claim that disgusting house. It was
grim. Man, and that's insane. Do you know what? I at the time of you guys doing this, I was in the run of a pretty difficult casting session myself, and I just remember seeing you guys, like I think we were like passing ships in the night one day, and it was just like, you guys are like, yep, we've got one of those casting topics, so you basically have to be delving into people's most personal areas, and it's not something you can turn around that quickly, but it's just one of those moments where you lean in once again, and oh well, you got it done at the end. What was it? It's called Filthy Rich, right?
Fight Dirty. No, it was Filthy Rich for ages, and every casting it was Filthy Rich, but it's Fight Dirty.
I was just gonna say there, not to be confused with the Jeffrey Epstein documentary on Netflix.
Oh god, no,
it's not the same. There was no casting for that.
No, But yeah, it's Fight Dirty. It's on BBC Three still. We got 2 great houses of contributors in the end, but it was really stressful and it was just going down. We opened the fridge and like flies came out. It was like a nightmare. It was like a horror movie. We were just like, we found this. Like I had to go home and wash my hair. I felt like it was like a film that was on me.
It just feels like, you know, of course, it's like one of those moments where like you're like a casting researcher on it and you're like vomiting into a bin and you're like so happy you found it, but at the same time you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, there were some people, literally, we would see them on the street and it's like, oh, hi, do you have a dirty house? And some of them would go, oh yeah, do you want to come in and see it? And just go, yeah. Like, no regards felt. It's like, yeah, I'll go into your murder house.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll come into your murder house with you. That's fine.
No room in the budget for security for me, but I'll go in.
Yeah, to be fair, we always were sent out in at least 2s, but it's like, they could murder the 2 of us.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it was crazy.
The desire to, when in a pressured casting situation, to delve and go into any world that people definitely wouldn't go to, it sort of overrides you, I suppose, at that moment, does it?
Oh yeah, it's just you literally will anything. And people are like, oh well, I have a mate with a dirty house, and you're just like, give me their number. I'll phone them. I don't care. And you end up, it was crazy. And it's not even something, at least with a dating show, it's sort of a nice thing to be asked if you want to be on, if you know you're looking for people. But if you go up to somebody and say, hi, do you have a dirty house? They're like, do I look like I have a dirty house? Like, do I look dirty? And you're just like, no. So you just had to say, do you know anybody with a dirty house? And they'll say, oh yeah, my friend. And then it's not even that bad or something. But yeah.
It's a very personal area, like, and you know what, like, especially at this time, you know, you might have had a better time casting, but unfortunately you couldn't go into people's houses now, but there's definitely a few messes.
I know.
So Stacey, that was brilliant. You've definitely helped me in my crusade to prove that TV is a weird ass industry. But another thing is I want people to listen to this podcast and come away with some tangible information and perhaps something that might make them even more intelligent, perhaps even more employable. So who better to ask than you, Stacey? So this is Advice of the Day with Stacey. Could be a title card there. Who knows? I'll leave it up to Fergus. He could hang me out to dry this week, like a few weeks ago he did.
He could just
and
have
there could be a complete awkward pause, but maybe I've saved myself. Who knows? But anyway, Stacey, fire away with your advice.
So my advice would be, this is totally different because of lockdown, but so normally during real life there would be events on held by RTS Futures, Cinemagic, Women in Film and TV. There's so many informational events that exist on how to get into TV. My advice is to go to them, even if I know a lot of people sort of like, oh well, I've been to a few of them, they all say the same thing. They're not all held by the same person. So go ask a question at the end, like get attention, just ask a question, think of something, and then go up and chat to them at the end and tweet it and tag them. And then whenever you see them again, like go up to them, say, oh hi, I really enjoyed your masterclass on blah, blah, blah the other day. I'm Stacey. But at the moment, because it's all going to be online, still I would say take a screenshot, tweet it, tag them, and then I'm not really sure what the crack is with the Belfast Media Festival or even whenever that next happens, but go to things and speak to people, because that's honestly how I got my first job. I literally ran around the Belfast Media Fest. I found out who some of the people were that made Beauty Queen Single, which I loved. So I found out who made that and literally was like a stalker. I just ran around the Belfast Media Fest like, oh hi, yeah, you're Stealth by Media, I'm Susie, I really like Beauty Queen Single, blah, blah, blah. Like Kieran Doherty, Vicky Taggart, Maeve McLaughlin. I was like, oh yeah, I heard that was your idea and I really liked it. And they were just like, ah. But then whenever I applied for that internship, they were like, oh god, there's that kid that was really into that. Okay, we know her. But yeah,
Pester people.
My advice.
Pester people. Go to things, which is very good advice.
Yeah.
And
go to things.
You know,
tweet.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, nowadays there's plenty of opportunities to see what's going on your doorstep. You know, like you rightly said there. You know, your DigiCities and the collaboration with Belfast Media Festival. There were so many like really worthwhile talks at the Belfast Media Festival, and like obviously, yeah, I think it doesn't matter. Obviously, having worked with producers in TV, You could be of any level, you know, and you come in, and
Mm-hmm.
if you've seen the work that they've produced and put a lot of hard work and time
Yeah.
into, people are going to appreciate that, you know, and
Yeah.
especially production managers, indie bosses, you know, execs, you know,
Mm-hmm.
everyone has got their own sort of claim to the content they're putting out in some way, and people are really happy to hear that people are watching it, because a lot of
Watching it.
times whenever you like go from job to job, I guess, or if you're an exec, I imagine, if you're
Mm-hmm.
constantly, you know, moving from show to show to show, you never really get that moment where people say like, well done, I really enjoyed it, it was great, you know. It's not actually a side
Yeah.
that people get to see, you know. So yeah, pester people, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. And no one's ever going to be mad that you know who they are and you like their stuff.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean? They might be a bit busy, you know, have a bit of common sense of when to approach them. But see if you just say, "Oh hi, I know you were behind whatever show it was, Snoop Dogg's or the Paddy Raff show. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious."
Mm-hmm.
People are like, "Oh, you actually not only did you watch it, but you actually made a point to find out who was behind it."
Mm-hmm.
Which I think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not a lot of people would think to do. So yeah, I'm just like, watch things that are made over here because you never know who you're going to be talking to.
Absolutely. And
Because yeah.
I think that you know, there are lots of people who should hit you up and follow you on Instagram. I think you know, certainly you've had a bit of a rebrand over the last few months, which has been quite cool
Yes.
for you. But I think, you know, if people want to have a better idea of that journey from education through to TV and then back into education again, it's a pretty interesting thing to follow. And you know, even your blogs and stuff, you document the journey pretty well. And
Thanks.
you know, I mean, I'm sure you've got a few more things planned for that. Because I'm seeing
Hmm.
that you've got more equipment and things like that. What kind of plans have you got for the future
Oh
for
yeah.
Belfast Media Girl?
Belfast Media Girl. So I bought a ring light, which I have on right now,
Lovely.
just basically to make some video content. Just give it a higher production value. I bought a microphone to plug into my camera. And the blog is absolutely not going to stop. I love doing the blog, but I'm thinking about just giving people maybe more options and different mediums in which to consume essentially the blog. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing some video stuff. Yeah, and just embedding it within the blog. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm up to. And Belfast Media Girl, my Instagram, Belfast Media Girl. My blog is Belfast Media Girl at blogspot.co.uk. The link's in my bio of my Instagram anyway, and my Twitter is at Belfast Media GRL because there's a character limit on your Twitter username. But yeah, so I have loads of content planned to be put out once a week. And yeah, I'm going to be starting to put out some video content, basically a video version, a YouTube version of the blog, within the next few weeks. But yeah, it's exciting.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I think that's a perfect segue because we're running out of time. But like, Stacey, thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate you taking time out of your obviously very busy life right now to chat to this old dude here. And all the best with, you know, the BBC Academy stuff, and hope to work with you
Thanks
again
so
in the
much.
future.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It's
Head
been
on,
class.
Stacey. All right, guys, listen, you know the drill, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Spotify to keep up to date with all of our podcasts. Cheers.
This is the